Hi guys, it's Maxi and Christian from Maxi's Better Podcast, and this podcast is also available within video. We are recording audio and video, and today's episode is called MKM, the Maniago Love Story. So, Igor, you are the MKM brand manager. Can you let us know how are you? The first question, and what is MKM? What does it mean? What is the idea behind that?
Ciao Maxi, it's great to be here with you guys. Ciao Christian, and yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. As I was telling you before, I'm just recording from home because yesterday I had a semi-positive test, let's say, and just to be sure to not spread the thing, I decided to stay home. As to your question about MKM, so MKM is a brand, okay, but the brand starts from a company, an association that is called Consorzio Coltellinai Maniago, that is the owner of the brand. And this company was born in 1960, and with the idea of helping companies in Maniago that were small craftsman company to go abroad with their product. Because in 1960, a lot of people in Maniago were not speaking so much English. So what Consortium did until 2018 is just that. So promote Maniago brands and sell worldwide Maniago brands. In 2018 is when I joined this company, and because they offered me the idea of this project that is the MKM project. And that is based on a collaboration between different companies. And in this case, the ones we started are the best companies in Maniago on EDC sporting knives production that are Fox Knives, Lion Steel, Viper, and Mercury. So what happened is we said, okay, why don't we try to make a brand that represents a little bit Maniago and this kind of collaboration? And why don't we try to make something really unique in this business? So collaboration between competitors. So we are speaking about really competing companies during their normal life that are still competitors, obviously, but that are working together, sharing technology, sharing knowledge. And this came also by the idea and the fact that we thought we have basically small companies. And what is best than putting our efforts together to make something more, let's say, something different, okay? So we started in 2018. Our first collection was introduced at Blade Show 2018. It went really well because that year we won the Collaboration of the Year award at the Blade Show. So the right foot to start. And from that point, we continue to develop new lines, new designs, new knives. And so now it's more or less 4 years that we started. So in June will be 4 years from our first Blade Show, and things have developed well. Our brand is starting to be recognized. Obviously, it was not very easy at the beginning because also if we have these great guys and great companies on our back, it's obvious that people need to understand who you are and what's your brand and need to know you. So yeah, after 4 years, we developed a lot of different models, and we are very happy. We worked with great designers, great companies to manufacture, and basically for me, it's at that time when I started, I was working in a completely different field. Not really completely different. It was still involved in steel manufacturing, but a little bit different. And I was never expecting to have so much fun to work in this business. It's really unbelievable for me. And it became also a passion. So I was not a knife guy. I have to admit, I was not a knife guy before starting this job. And now I have my collection with more than 50 pieces. So that's basically something that probably I did the opposite that usually happens in this business. So usually you're an amateur or like a knife lover, and then you join this business. I do the opposite.
Igor, what was the first knife what was the first project MKM did?
So we started with the first line was composed by 5 different projects, 5 different designs. So it was 2 by Bob Terzuola. We had our clap and we have our yoke. Yoke has been discontinued recently, and the clap is still available and still running. Then we had one with Lucas Burnley that was called the Farah, and is still available in there. It's probably our most sold slip joint, and yeah. And then we have another from Lucas Burnley that's called the Route that has been discontinued, and a third one with Lucas that was the Arbennis. Also, that one has been discontinued. On the first line, we just kept 2 at this moment. Let's say they sold well at that time, but then probably that curve, those models were not those that you can sell forever. So we decided to discontinue, and we kept the two the clap and the Farah that are still selling very well and still very popular, and so we are very happy about them. Surely in our first project, I didn't had a lot of hands on it because I was just I joined the company in April, mid of April, and we had the Blade show in June, so 1 month and a half. So the designs and the projects were already started for the first collection. So yeah, I remember that as really fun thing. I remember that with the Blade show one, etc. But now the fun is more. Let's say now that I can really put my hands on the project, really decide what kind of design and designer to use, etc. It's become more and more fun. And yeah.
Just for my understanding.
Yeah.
So it's MKM consists of Viper, Lion Steel, Fox, and Mercury.
At this time, yeah. So basically, MKM is a brand. Okay, yeah. You just think about a brand. Okay.
All right.
We have at the moment these 4 companies working for us and together with us in collaboration. Obviously, the thing it will probably evolve and will probably take inside other companies also to get in other fields, let's say in other markets. We are now projecting for just to give you a little tease for 2023 our first kitchen knife collection, MKM branded. We are now developing other projects beside of that. So we will like also in the wine accessory business, like corkscrews, etc. Because we have these kind of manufacturers in Maniago. So basically, our goal, the final goal, is to try to have in our brand all the things that we can produce in Maniago, but different than the standard that you can find from the companies. Obviously, we don't want to have a private label. We want to have our own product with our brand. Let's say.
Okay.
So you joined the company in April?
April 2018. Yeah.
And your first Blade show was in June 2018.
Exactly.
And that must be a blast. You have seen knives everywhere. Mm-hmm. It must be a blast for you.
Yeah. And basically, as I told you, I was not a knife guy. I was not. I didn't have experience and knowledge about knife industry. I have to be frank. What I did at that time is when they told me, when I decided to join the company, I started watching everything on YouTube possible. So trying to get all the information possible to be prepared and to understand what I was going to do, to sell and to speak about. So just to give the first hours spent on YouTube was watching. I don't know if you remember Ben Peterson from US. I was looking. I think hours of the let's say programs. Yeah, exactly. It's the guy. That's the guy exactly. I got the mini one, the baby one,
awesome.
baby better. Yeah.
Yeah, just for you guys who are not watching the video, the Christian is just holding his V-knife banter in front of the camera.
In Ben Blue.
Yeah. So let's say I try to keep as much as possible from YouTube, from this guy, etc. And and then also the companies that are together with us really helped us on the first side, because I needed some more information, technical, etc., for explaining and speaking about knives. So surely I have to thank all the guys from the other companies that are still teaching me things, because this is a market in which you never stop learning, and that's another fabulous things for me, because it keeps you always alive and always moving. And all the guys that I'm working with, they are helping me in different ways, giving me advices for different things, and really helping me to get more and more into this knife business.
Oh, so you learned a lot about knife making. You are free to visit all the knife making companies. I guess.
Yes.
That must be amazing.
No, let's say no. They have been open from the beginning. I really have to tell that these guys are great. They never had a secret with me. They always told me we can do this, that. They show me all the factory or whatever. They are part of our group, so basically we are collaborators. It's not a relationship between a supplier and the customers. It's like more the part of the same. It's like more a part of the same company or same group in this case of companies. So we are a team, and this is one of the things that I'm enjoying. Also because the team is composed by great members, really. So yeah. I had this luck. I know a lot of you guys are probably jealous of this possibility to get inside of the different factories, etc. And I can understand it. And it's really fun to see. And if you will ever come to Maniago, you guys just chat me, and yeah, we can try to figure it out. Yeah, probably. Yes, absolutely.
Do you know which is the oldest one of the single brands?
So the oldest, I don't want to say a bullshit, but the oldest one should be Mercury. That's
really?
From 1950. Should be 1950. Yeah.
They are that old?
Wow. Yeah. They are. The company started in 1950. They started with one of the products that they are doing most, and that are the multi-tool knives. Then they also had kitchen knife line, etc. Probably is the one that, compared to the other, was less in the technological knife business. Let's say when we started MKM, they made a bet also. So there was like a trial for them to get in this business, to try to develop their skills. And in fact, after 4 years, I can definitely tell that Mercury is getting better and better. And also, they are developing the factory. They are buying new machinery, be more modern, etc. So this project helped also them in this case, for example, to get better. So definitely they should have to be the. I don't want to say if I didn't say it correctly. Please, one of the other companies, don't kill me. Don't kill me. Yeah. Because no, I'm sure that Lion Steel is 1969, because I remember that for the moon landing. So that's something I'm absolutely sure. It should have to be Mercury. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Viper is the youngest, sure, and
they are all right.
Yeah. Viper is the young. Yeah. Between the four.
So their exact name is Viper Technocut, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the company name is Technocut, and the brand, let's say, is Viper.
All right.
Yeah, because they started. Funny story is they started doing something completely different than EDC, pocket knife, fixed outdoor knives, or whatever. They were doing blades that are set up in the kitchen, the table knives. Do you know those table knives that has only the blade and a little pin that goes inside the handle?
Yeah.
I don't know how you call it. Okay.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Okay. That usually in the past was with a silver handle. You got it? Okay. They were doing the blades, I say, the part of the blades at the very beginning of their history. And then they started making the first, let's say, classic and gentleman knives. and then they followed up. That is their really passion. I have one here on my back, and probably it's one of the first. This is called Timeless.
Yeah.
It's a great piece. So this was their soul at the beginning, you know, classic knife, gentleman, and whatever. Then obviously they adapted on to the market, being a little bit more on the tactical, on the EDC, on the other fields that you need to cover, let's say, for this market. But with always this passion for little details. As I was telling to Maxi when we met at IWA, every company that we work for together has a different soul and a different, let's say, propension to things. So when I speak about Viper, I think about details and art of knives. You know, put the art and the love of knives on a piece. When I speak about, for example, lion steel, I know that is technological perfection. You know, it's like. So yeah, it's fun because it's really different, but all of them has really great skills, and combine these things together can only create a great thing. It's impossible to miss, let's say.
So is every MKM knife produced from 2 or more companies, or is there I mean, can you say the blade is from that company, the handle is from that company, the clip is from that company, and the other one is building all together? Or how does it work? I mean, it's that kind of project like MKM is unique in the world. How does it work?
So that depends from knife to knife, and depends from project to project. It's obvious, clear, and visible if you check whatever of our knives, that if you're really into knife business and you are really and you know the Maniago brands and how they work, you can definitely see that there is a little bit more work of one of the companies in that, because you can see the style, you know. And but yeah, let's say the things that they are sharing and that they are doing together are the part of, you know, projecting, designing, also technological, and also workman. Because for example, I don't know. For example, the blade can be ground by fox knives. The titanium handle is water jet cutted by lion steel, and then at the end it's a knife that the other things are made by Viper. So the 3D machine is made by Viper and then set it up by Viper, or it can be so. Depending on what's the project, it depends how much one single individual company is involved in the production and in all the phase. It's obvious and clear that it's quite impossible to have, you know, well, I make this piece, you make that piece, etc. But you can see that there is a touch more. Also because when you're doing the setting up of the knife, that is a very delicate process, etc. The pieces have to be put it together well, you know. So sure, there is a particular when you see a knife, for example, when I was speaking before about the clap, and you can see that there is the removable flipper that is patented by Lion Steel. You can definitely see that part is Lion Steel, and you can have a lot of touch in that. But there is still a really tight collaboration. Most of the blades are ground by Fox, okay, because it's more specialized than this one. Different, maybe also screws, etc., are made by Lion Steel. Things are, you know, mixed up, and that's a good thing, because I can pick the best thing from every company. And
but that sounds like a lot of coordinating work when you have 4 big brands like that, and that sounds like you have to coordinate a lot on which company does what.
Let's say that's a part of my job for
All
sure. That's a part of my job. My job starts from the design picking, so to pick the design to selling the knives at the shows or whatever. So I'm involved in quite all the project, unless for the production, so the direct production, because I am not working in the factory, let's say. But for all the other parts, yeah, I'm surely involved. And then obviously they speak with each other. The headquarters of the different companies you have to imagine is like in a radius of 500 meters, maybe less than 500 meters. You can find all these 4 companies, so it's quite easy for them to communicate and to share things, etc. Also to bring one piece to the other company, etc.
Are they that close?
Yeah, they are all inside of an area. So in Maniago we have an industrial area, and those parts divided in 2 parts basically. And though they are in one of these 2 areas, but really I can really walk from one to the other company. Sometimes it's happening that I have to visit more than one of them, and I don't have anything to carry with me for try. I'm not getting there to pick up the packages, for example, of the knives. So I can park in one of their parkings and then go walking to the other companies. It's so easy.
Right. So because another question from me would be the logistics between the different companies you have to. I thought there are, don't know.
Yeah.
Just a backpack.
This is one of the things that probably helped us to make this happening, because obviously putting together for companies that are miles away one from the other, or kilometers away one from the other, it can become difficult. But obviously also the logistical thing helped us a lot in being able to do this.
Do you guys know the story behind, I think it was Hogue knives? Do you guys know the plain story?
No.
I think it was Hogue that have 2 facilities, and they are that far away that the company owns a little plane that that flies between the handle and the blade department.
Really?
Yeah, I think Ben Peterson told this story once. So these 2 facilities are like 100 kilometers away from each other, and they have a small, I think it's a Cessna plane that brings the blades to the handle department, and it travels like once or twice a day between the 2 departments.
Right.
Yeah. So it's the opposite of that.
Yeah. That would have been a little bit complicated for us to manage. Yeah.
So Maniago, is this a small city or is this a big city in Italy?
We count 11,000 people living in the Maniago area, so we are quite small.
That's small.
That's small. Yeah.
How much is Hamburg?
It's small.
Hamburg is 1.5 million, and I thought Maniago was maybe 150,000.
All right.
No, we are, and also our region is composed by small countries, because the biggest one that we have are 30 kilometers. In our area, let's say, is 40,000. And then we have Trieste that is a little bit bigger, but we don't have very big cities, let's say. The total of I think the total citizens of our region, Friuli Venezia Giulia, is like Hamburg, total. So 1 point something million, yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of mountains.
So everyone is working in the knife industry.
Yeah. Let's say in the past it was very cool. So every home, almost every home, got a little factory inside. So a little workshop. At least you had grinding belts, grinding wheels, a drill, the standard, simple things. They were not doing something really, really fascinating, difficult in 1950, 1960, something like that. But every home. Also, my granddad had a shop, a workshop inside of his home. So and everyone was working, usually at home, was working for bigger companies. That they were outsourcing. Instead of having employees, you have these craftsmen that were working at home. Then obviously when the the time when I had a lot of these people retired, died, sons and children didn't continue, and then also laws about security and other things. Obviously, it was not possible to make security this kind of environments and to follow the rules that the government tell you. They did it for 60 years maybe, and no one injured. But you know, laws are laws, and in this case, in some cases, can be also stupid. But anyway, this was the environment in Maniago. Obviously, during the time, a lot of these closed, and only the biggest ones remained and developed. In Maniago, we are not only doing knives; we are doing also other things. Obviously, we are specialized in blades in general, so tools that have a cutting edge. And but we have also other things that are made, and the most is anyway related to steel, to work of steel. We have a steel factory, we have aluminum factory, we have other things inside that are related anyway to metals. And I don't know if you know the story of Maniago, but it's a very long story. Mm-hmm. So in Maniago, we started making knives in 1453. Oh. So it's almost 600 years that we are making knives. Yeah, we started. Yeah.
That reminds me a bit of Solingen, Germany. So
yeah,
I think if I'm right, there were a lot of people working from home. It's called Heimarbeit in Germany.
Okay. No, it's it's similar. Let's say that the knife towns in the world are the most famous, at least, are 4 or 5 towns. You know, you have Maniago, you have Solingen, you have Secchi, you have Golden, Colorado, you have you have Thiers in France. In the past, you had also Sheffield in Great Britain, but I think they are not working so much now at the moment. And Albacete too in Spain. Those was a little bit the knife capitals around the world. And we Maniago, we are trying to stay there and to continue this passion. And probably the only thing that is a little bit difficult in this period is to find young guys that want to join this job. And it's quite a sad thing, because they probably don't understand. If they don't try, they probably don't understand what's behind this, and how proud can you be when you see a product that came also by your hands, you know, out in the market, let's say, and see how beautiful is that, and how people like it and look for it. So probably having this kind of approach, if they try, they would probably enjoy doing that. But yeah, that's at the moment probably the biggest issue we have for the continuation of our tradition. And in fact, we are one of the things, because we are equipping the companies with more and more technological stuff and machining. It's one of the reasons, you know, we have to do that in some ways. So if there are no people that do that, we have to use machine for sure. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a very good way to see it. You guys have the idea to work together to have a future. Mm-hmm. So it's, I mean, you are not. Yes, they have their all problem. They own companies, something like that. But on the other hand, they also want to work together, and that's a really, really great idea. Really great to see. And I sometimes wish it for other knife cities too, like Sheffield. Maybe they could still existing, but they are not. Mm. And on the other hand, for companies trust you with design picking, etc., etc. Is it right? So you have the responsibility to pick the design, to decide about the maybe the handle materials, steel materials, and you need to make it successful.
Yeah. Yeah, let's say at the beginning it was not like this. So as I told you, the first project in 2018, I can remember exactly 2018 and 2019 line was so 2018 was already there. The designs were already be chosen. The prototypes were ready, etc. So I didn't put any hand on that, basically, just a little. But I was not prepared to put a hand on that. I was telling, so I've been frank and clear and say, okay, I joined the company, I joined the project, etc. But at the beginning, you have to help me because obviously I don't know many things. And then after I started learning things, nowadays they at least I I hope they trust me. But if they are following me, so they are doing the projects that I asking them, I think they are trusting me. And that probably happened also because a couple of projects that I picked up that I really would like to do, and that was a design that I really wanted, then went really well. So from that point, the thing that I think they got it, I'm getting more and more experience and getting more and more knowledge on the knives. Yeah, I think they now trust in me. I hope so. And if not, they will tell me probably next year when they will see the podcast. No, I did not try. No, I'm joking.
So how is it to pick a design? Is it like like in a TV shows, and they have they're looking for new models and they have no, yes, no? Or are you the one who is contacting the designers and say, hey, I'm the one from MKM? Who? MKM, the new one?
No.
How is it?
So at the beginning, as I told you, there was the company asking them. So the first collection and second collection was the company. So the designer with which we worked from the beginning already knew the other companies, etc. But nowadays, it's me contacting the designers. I check socials, Instagrams, whatever. Websites for trade shows of custom knife shows, etc., and try to understand which style I like at first, because every designer, at least the ones that I like, have a style that is recognizable, so you can see it's designed by that. And then I usually try to give some ideas to the design. So I would like to have a knife that is this and that, more or less. Like, for example, a small EDC fixed, or like I want a big, strong folding knives or whatever. So I give you an idea, and then they send us the design. The drawing they have, or one or two or whatever, they feel that are in line with that. So the process is usually I check them, I look at the design, and I have a first yes or no. Okay, you can definitely yes or no or maybe. Okay, there are three things. So no, it's okay, cancel. Yes, it's okay, and maybe it's okay. We have to check. Maybe make some little changes. We can get it, and then what I do is a lot with fixed blade knives, but also with the folding. I print in 1:1 scale. I put the printing on a cardboard, on a thick cardboard. I cut it out, and I try to handle it. The first thing I try to handle it, because I need to understand what are the measurements, what are the size, what would be the handling. Obviously, it's not the real feeling that you will have with the product at the end, but you have an idea. And when that process is okay, now I'm good. I can ask to make some changes to the designer, make a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker, or smaller, or whatever. And then from that point, the design goes to the factory. The factory that I in this case choose which one I would like to make this project, basing on their skills. So I contact the company that I would like to work with for that one, and so the one that I mostly would like to work at, that put more effort in that, obviously, and tell them, okay, that's the project. We make a meeting, okay, also with the other guys. We say, okay, this is a project. You will be, let's say, for example, lion steel. Okay, in this case, it will be the most the biggest part of this project. Viber, it will be for this, etc. And then obviously we coordinate all the other things. But yeah, the design picking is, I think, it's one of the most funny part of and amazing part of the job, because you can see very different things, and you have the right to choose, and it's good. Sometimes it's good that, because also working as a let's say brand manager, but also salesman, because I sell knives. I have to sell knives, and the other customer, like Maxi, when came at the booth, he's picking the knives that she likes, okay, or that she thinks that she can sell. And in that case, I'm doing the same with the design. So it's a good part of the job. And yeah, one of the things that is behind the design picking is also what kind of knife I want to do. So, for example, last year, okay, we started the projecting in 2020, but it went out in 2021. We did the micro with Jasper.
The small.
The micro is a small.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This.
Yes. Yeah.
So in this case, what happened is I was looking at checking the market, what seemed to be popular and what seemed to be trends, and I'm starting to see more and more pocket fixed blade knives around. So I say, okay, we have to try to make one. And in this case, we made a mix between a neck knife and a pocket fixed blade knife. And in that case, I asked to Jasper. I called Jasper and say, okay, I would like to do this kind of knife. Can you draw it for me? Yeah. And he sent me the design of this guy here. And this is probably one of the knives that we sold most up to now. And it's been at the beginning quite surprising. So I was sure that I picked up a good design that could have begun, but I didn't imagine the numbers that we could do with that knife, really. And also the companies that we were working that are working with us were not 100. So they say, okay, you will do that, but neck knives, not a big thing. Probably you will not sell a lot of them. Okay, I said we try, and then we see. And then now we are producing our 5th batch of this knife in like 1 year and a half that goes out.
Wow.
So yeah, it went very well. And together with that, and that's one of the other part that it's in my, let's say, my hands-on. For example, this sheath. So okay, this is a knife, but in order to put it in your pocket or to carry it, a fixed blade knife, you have to study a way to carry it, obviously. So, okay, you can carry as a neck knife. I'm not so much a neck knife lover. Let's say I don't carry so much neck knives. It's not my passion. I prefer carrying my pocket. So I said, I need to find a solution to have this knife being carried on your neck, on your pocket, in some ways also on your belt, and try to understand what to do. And so I started working on the project, and this came out. That is the sheath that come together with the knife as a standard, 2 magnets. So in this way, you have a way to carry in your pocket. It works like a pocket clip. I'm now carrying my 5th pocket, for example. This is a perfect 5th pocket knife. It's small. It can fit very well, and yeah. And you have another knife in your pocket, so you can have an extra.
Yeah.
And
plus one.
And also we did it to make it reversible, so it's right-handed and left-handed. You can just turn it, and you can use in your left pocket or right pocket. It doesn't matter. And this lace here grants you the chance to have a retention that gives you the chance to carry on your neck and be sure that the knife will not fall down. So also for security, because obviously if you're wearing a neck knife under here and they will fall down from the sheath. You know what I did? The first time I had the sample of this sheath, I took the leather lace that we picked to use to have the necklet, let's say, and try to turn around like this. So if it will not go out in that way, I'm probably sure that will not go out when you're carrying it. And so at the end, that's how we went. Obviously, in that case, the evolution is that at a certain point, people is asking you, I want to have another way to carry. Why not a Kydex sheath? Okay, we offer now recently the Kydex sheath separately is an option, and also in that case we decided to give options to carry. You have pocket carry with an ulti clip, you have belt carry, scout carry with laces, with leather laces, and you still have the neck carry.
So tons of possibilities.
Yeah. I think we have to try. One of the things we have to try is to make easier to people to carry a knife. So
absolutely.
So why making it difficult? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
And the same happened with first sheath we make with magnets, that is for slip joints. That we introduced this one with the Selena, that now has been discontinued. But also in this case, I have a funny story, and I don't know if Lucas Lucas Burnley is listening at this story. But anyway, he told this on
yes, please tell us funny Lucas Burnley stories.
Yeah, he told it in public, so I can do the same probably. Okay. So basically, we were working at the Selena. Celina was a knife we made it was in the 2019 collection, a slip joint that now has been discontinued. And at that time, we were using still a sheath that was only a belt loop sheath. So we said, maybe we have to figure out something else, okay? People want to pocket carry, not to belt carry. No one wants to belt carry a pocket knife, absolutely, okay? So I started working on this. I started making sample. My first prototype was stapled with, staples, etc., and with tape and whatever, with magnets that I found in one of my things that I had there, just to imagine what could be. Anyway, I wrote to Lucas, and they said, okay, Lucas, I came out with an idea for a sheath for the Celina. And he immediately replied to me and said, Igor, no way. People don't want a pocket sheath, don't want a sheath, don't want to carry a sheath. They want a pocket clip. Okay, it's a pocket knife. They want to carry a pocket. We need a pocket clip. And I said, okay, Lucas, but the thing that I did is probably similar to what is. And I sent some pictures. Okay, just imagine these pictures and these pictures. So he surely could not understand how it's working. And so he replied to me, no way, man, it's not working. You have to change this thing. Okay. And then I said, maybe I did a stupid thing. I have to make a video for that. Okay, I made a video, explained to him a little bit how it's working. And then after like a couple of minutes, he wrote me back and said, Igor, I'm sorry, that's really cool. Please go ahead with that. I love it. I love the idea. And so go ahead with that. I'm 100% with you. And that has been cool because I was still not, 2019, I was in the industry, but not for a long time. And having a guy like Lucas, that is one of the best around, telling you did a good job on something related to a knife. Yeah, I was like flying when he told me that thing. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah.
So if I get it right, you are the leather sheath designer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome.
It's I am the one that thought about it and that put it together. And then also, I can tell you, also the other companies that the companies that we're working with, when I showed this to them, they told me, I don't know if it's working. I don't know if it's working. Now, Lion Steel has its own, obviously it's branded MKM because it's a collaboration, like we brand made by Mikita, we make the MKM just, and then you have Lion Steel on the other side. And they are starting to like it and probably adding to the line. So yeah, those are things that make me happy, really, sure. And push me to go farther than this.
Can you talk a little bit about the latest offering from MKM, which is the Maximo, I think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have one in my pocket, so because now from when it came out, it's my in my rotation. It took a lot of place. So basically, with Maximo, what we did is we started from the idea of the clap. So the club is about the small design, like the Maximo. Was really popular knife.
I remember. Yeah.
It was a really popular knife, and it's still a really popular knife that we are selling very well. But we decided, also listening to the request of a lot of people that were asking for something a little bit bigger. So we decided, okay, we make it bigger, we make it different, we have to try to find a solution to make it bigger, but not the same knife. I didn't want to make the same knife scaled. I want to make something different. And the idea I get in my mind is, okay, I want to make something strong, so we make a frame lock. I want to make something that is in the mix between a working knife and a tactical knife. And so we picked a part of like the swedge on the back of the blade that really recalls a tactical knife, put it together with a wide and blade that can really be used a lot in working. And also for the lock, we decided to have, and this one is a little bit difficult to check because it's the same, because it's similar color, and my camera is not so good. But you can see the insert, the lock button insert is quite generous. It's a big. Usually in the knife, you tend to you usually try to hide it a little bit. No? But in this case, we decided to let it very visible because I wanted to know people know that this is a reliable, strong knife. Okay. Then it's also a fancy and good-looking knife, surely, but it's a working knife too. Also for the pocket clip, we had the same idea. We didn't use titanium; we used stainless steel because we know that stainless steel is better with retention, etc. So with the work, we added the glass breaker tip. Yeah. So another option to use it in some ways. And in the package, you have also the other screw with rounded if you don't want it.
So this is this is removable. Yeah.
You have a little key inside of the package. You can unscrew this and put another screw with round head. So if you don't need it, or you don't want to carry that with the glass breaker tip, you have the option. And then I put one of the thing that I like most on knives. One of my touches, let's say, is to have double opening system. I like to play with knives, so I like to flip it. I like to flick it. I like to stay there and flip with knives. So it's a working knife. It's a tactical knife, but still a fun knife. And just to give another option that was not so difficult to create. Also, the thumb studs are removable. I don't know if anyone will do that, but you can. Why not? So that's the story behind. And behind the name, the story is another funny thing. Sorry, for the finishing here, we decided to go with the frag in order always to give this mix between strength, tactical, like fight. So something that has to recall strength. And the same we did with the name, and it came out when I was watching TV. I was watching a famous movie called The Gladiator, and that is probably one of my favorite movies. So it was something like the 100 times that I was looking at it. And when I was there, and we were in the middle of the project, I said, I think that Maximo Decimo Meridius, if would have been lived in this era, in these times, it would have carried one of these knives. So why don't call it Maximo? And the other funny story that puts together the thing. So in this knife, I think you can see who put the most hand on it in the production. Anyways, it's Lion Steel. And the brother of Gianni is the CEO of Lion Steel, and the brother of Gianni is called Massimo, and is the production manager. So basically, it's and it happened for random. I didn't thought about Massimo to make to decide about the name, but when I thought about it, I said, okay, we have another connection. It's perfect. We have to use that name.
Oh, that's cool.
And from what I got at the moment, I think the knife has been liked a lot from people, and they are understanding what was in our mind when we thought about it. So yeah, I'm very happy about it, really. And this is one of the knives
awesome
which
knife.
Thank you. And this is one of the knife in which I put a lot. So I I looked at pictures on the web about Bob Terzuola custom knives. I looked at the one that for me was the best one, and from that point we started. And yeah, I think also Bob was very happy when he got the samples and the prototypes. He was very happy about the results.
I have never talked with Bob so far. How is he?
He's a great guy. He's a great guy. So I can see him. I hope he will not take me wrong, but I can see him like my grandfather. So I can speak with him like I could speak with my grandfather. And Suze, his wife, is a great woman. Really, really great woman. Very focused, very good, and also very kind. So when you speak with them, you feel like in a family. And it's one of the good thing about working with these guys. I like them. I didn't have so many chances to see them in person. Let's say I think we met in person 2 or 3 times. The last one was in Paris at CICAC last year. I was, and is exactly the moment when I showed to Bob the first prototype of the Maximus. And so it was good. He looked at it. Obviously, he gave me his feedbacks and said, Igor, in my opinion, you have to change a couple of things for the thing. I said, okay, we can do that. It's a prototype. We made it for a reason, to test it, and then we made it. But yeah, it's. I remember a guy working around at CICAC. He was a customer, let's say, a collector, a young guy. That passed at my booth and spent like 20-30 minutes speaking. He spent like a full day together with Bob and his wife. They were eating together. So they are very open people. I like them. I love them, surely. And if they will see this podcast, and I hope so, I want to thank them once again for the collaboration. It's great to have the chance to work with these guys. So Bob is the godfather of tactical knives, and I have the chance to work with this guy. It's unbelievable. And working like you are in a part of the family is unbelievable, really.
Are there any designers in the knife world you would really love to collaborate with that you haven't collaborated with already?
Yeah, too many, really. The problem is too many. No, sure, there are some other, and probably in the future we will try to add some other. But for example, nowadays we had programmed. We are finished now to program the 2023 lineup. So for this year and next year, we are probably, let's say, covered. We will have 2 new names in 2023. I don't think I can tell you now. You will see it. You will see it. But he will probably Maxi know that. Probably I told to Maxi in private when we was. But yeah, you will see it, and it will be great collaboration with great guys. And then obviously when I every time I look at a custom knife that I like, I say I would like to collaborate with that. But obviously we have production limits, so we have to selection and pick. We cannot do whatever we want, unfortunately. I would do millions of models if it would be for me. I could whatever. And it's the thing. Also, one of the things that happened. So some customers told me, like dealers, distributors, someone told me, why you make so many variations of a knife? And I'd say, okay, imagine the scene. I'm at these meetings with these guys, and they are presenting me the prototypes when they are ready. Okay, and they produce different, and we say, okay, we do the prototypes as different and on materials and finishing, and then we pick. But when you look at them and you like and love all of them, the problem is which one I have not to make. So it's difficult to say, no, I don't do this, because it's good.
Yeah.
I like it. I cannot. So yeah, and also it's one of the things that we like to give option to person to have different tastes, to have different knife. That I guess is quite important.
Yeah, there are 6 different variations of the Maximus.
The Maximus are 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually now it is in the last collection. Usually is the number that we keep. 6 is the maximum. I say we cannot do more than 6. But what we do is we offer usually when we speak about customers, etc. We are very happy to do exclusives that gives us the chance to make other models and other versions. So yeah, this is basically the thing. Okay.
Yeah. So we just have heard the story about the Maximo. Are there any new stuff coming in 2022?
Yeah.
Which you can talk about?
Absolutely. It's the thing that we introduced, the models that we introduced at SHOT Show first and IWA show later. So, and we have some of them. So I can show you a couple. Probably the next one that will be available. I will try to go in line with the news, with the timeline. Probably the next one will be this one. Yeah, it will probably be the new versions of Isonzo.
Yeah.
So in this case, Isonzo is one of our most together probably with Micro is the knife that we sold most and most popular. It's a box design, obviously. And in this case, what we did, the original version is FRN handle and 690 blade, aluminum accents, etc. And we said we need to make something a little bit higher, something a little bit fancier, and upgrade a little bit the thing. And so we decided to come out with different version. This will be the first one that will come out in 2022. There will be other coming out with different handle materials, but they will be in different moments. So I don't want to tease you now. I will this one, the first one that come out will be with green canvas micarta handle. You have bronze anodized titanium backspacer and
cool.
the ring.
Yeah, that's cool.
It will be available in all the 3 blade shapes that we usually have. So the hook peel, the clip point, and we have the cleaver also that it will come. The structure will remain more or less the same, and the idea remained the same. We left the stainless steel pocket clip that is reversible. So the idea of this knife remained the same, but we upgraded materials. And this will probably be out. I will probably be able. Sorry.
What steel? What steel is it? The new one,
M390. M390.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And this is one of probably also for me. It's one of the knives that I like most because it's one of the most fidgety knives around, I guess. So it's one of those knives that I always carry in my. If I'm in office, I have one is also on the side because when I have to think about, I have to make a stop and think about. I have to do something with my hands. So it's like a stress release or whatever.
Yeah.
And anyway,
that one is on my list. The green micarta M390. It's on my. It's definitely
nice. Yeah, and then anyway, it's a great little knife. It's really useful. You can really use it a lot. I carry this a lot, so obviously you don't have a big blade, but you will not use it for doing jobs that you need a big blade. So yeah, and also the thing that with the same handle and same design, a lot of design language, you have different blade shapes. Is another good thing that gives option to people. Probably this is my favorite blade shape, the hook peel. I don't know why, it's the one that fascinated me more. And also the handling of this knife is so cool because with this choil here, you can definitely choke the knife really well.
Perfect box cutter.
Yeah, different position, first self-defense, whatever. It's a really nice and different. You can use for different things. Also for ties, plastic ties, it's perfect. And if you're going in the bush and you're going to look for mushrooms, it's not very far. It's not very far from a mushroom knife blade.
Yeah.
If you remember more or less.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's less curved, but anyway, you can do the job.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So this will be the first one, and then in timeline we will have something really special. It's a knife that we already have. It's a model that we already have, and is designed by Yen Sanso, and is basically this guy here. So the knife is called Goccia.
Gotcha.
The Goccia, so designed by Yen Sanso. This has been a very popular knife and has been as popular as we are always sold out. One time for a shortage on production, but anyway, we are now sold out and we are waiting for the next batch, and probably when the next batch will come, I don't know how long will last for the standard versions, let's say. So what we did is, we need to make a special version. We need to make something really cool that people want to collect, and a limited edition. So in this case, we used the Damasteel rose pattern. And what we did here is something that we did the first with the Timavo. That is another model we did with the Damascus. So what we are doing here is in this titanium handle, we engraved is milled. Okay, the same pattern. I don't know if you can see it. Is basically the same pattern of the Damascus.
Wow.
So it gives you continuity, continuation, flowing lines. Also when it's closed, if you check it when it's closed, it seems like quite a unique piece. Obviously, in the handle, the pattern is a little bit wider. Okay, you cannot do so thin like in the, but it gives you this flowing idea, this continuation.
Oh, this is such a beauty.
Thank you. And
it sounds cool.
It sounds cool. Yeah, you like the sound, but also the flipping action in this knife is fucking cool. Sorry for the bad word.
I once handled the titanium version of this at a friend's place. A friend of mine owns the titanium version, and I flipped it, and it was like whack.
Yeah, exactly.
I really like that.
Yeah, and in that case has been something that I really requested in the production. So I said, I want to make a snappy action.
Yeah, that's super snappy.
I know that probably, obviously, to make that, you have to have a little bit more retention on the blade when it's closed. And so it makes it a little bit more difficult for someone probably to open it. But the satisfaction that you get when you're a knife guy, you can open whatever. So the satisfaction that you have.
You can flip a Victorinox.
Yeah. No, something that has bearings or whatever, and say, no, okay, yeah, sure. Maybe.
Chuck Norris can.
Chuck Norris can flip a Victorinox.
Anyway, I like that feeling on the knife. So we try to make that to be so snappy. And as we usually do with our limited edition, it's included in a collection box. That is the same we did with the other, in order to create like a line. So like I have on my over my fire, or in this case on the back of me. So you can create like a following collection with the same box that gives you this continuation of things. And this is a display box, but it's also the box that comes with the knife. So basically, you have a box, magnets, closed. So you will get the knife here. Obviously, the knife will be closed inside and not open. So you can open it. You will have the certificate with the number and whatever. And you have this chance of displaying like this. I don't know if you can. Yeah, like this.
Is the knife held by magnets or?
Yeah. There is only a little magnet here. I can show you.
Right.
So we obviously milled the wood to make with the same shape of the back of the handle.
That's
so
smart.
it fit inside, okay? But then we needed anyway, something to be more secure, you know, to be sure that it will not fall down. And so we added just this little magnet.
That's
here.
smart.
That's happening. Thank you. It's another thing that on which I started by a product. It's another thing that I came out with, and I'm very happy about this. And also in this case, starting from a cardboard box with magnets, etc. And then this happened. And depending on what's the height of your shelf when you want to put it, you can also have another display system that is, you can see it's like roof, so 45 degrees.
Right.
So if you have a lower shelf, this will be better because it's display and give you the right angle to really look and appreciate it. Right?
Or if you have it on your desk
Exactly.
as a desk knife.
Exactly. Exactly.
So this is limited, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 100 pieces. It's 100 pieces numbered. There will be, so what's happening when you do limited edition is always that you put in production a certain piece of blades, and that you need to put some more than the 100, you know, because something can happen. So in this case, we have something more than 100 pieces, and what we do, and what we do is
Yeah.
you know what? I have this knife there. It's been as quick as so. The dealers, all the customers I introduced that, yeah, I want it, yeah, they want it top piece. At the end of SHOT Show, I think I got something like 10 pieces left, considering also the extras. So yeah, basically they will come and go. You know, I will obviously keep one for me, one for our showroom for sure, one for our shop, and maybe one for the guys, for the groups of the manufacturers, so they can keep them. One and the others are gone. But the ones that we have more than the 100, we don't. I don't like to make 102, 105, and whatever. We brand them, mark them 000. So it's like something out of the series that are even if you guess that are even more rare that the 100, you know, because are way less than 100. And this is something cool because there is some customer that really is looking for the 0001s. They want it. It's so yeah. We are very excited about it. I got a call this morning with the factories, and that one will be ready within the middle of May, probably within the second week of May. So we are very close. And if I want, I can go ahead with the other things. So it's in line. Do you have any other question on the Gocha, or I can go ahead?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. The next one in the timeline is probably the one that we are expecting more, and I know that Maxi likes. I think from what he told me during the IWA show, it was born from the micro. So we did the micro. We sold a lot of micros, and people was telling us, yeah, we like it, but we need also something bigger for making to be more useful, to be easier to use, to have more handle. And so we contacted Jasper and say, okay, Jasper, we need to make a big micro, okay? And we call it the macro. And basically this is what came out. So 2 blade shapes also in this case. So a drop point and modified ship foot. Same exact design language of the micro. I want to take out the micro so that you can check the size different, just so you can understand.
Yeah.
It's like a puppy.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is not obviously this is not a big knife. It's not very big. But compared to this one, yeah, it seems huge. On the macro, we kept the same idea. Handle is the knife has this handle that has a groove. The scale has a groove, so it's fixed inside the knife without the handle will look like this.
All right.
And we offer also the naked version. Okay, so you can have also the naked version. But if you have one of these, you can transform it in a naked version. You just need to unscrew them. You have remove the scales, and this is what you will find under. So you are going out and doing some dirty job, something that you know will get your knife dirty, and maybe you have the micarta version that is very difficult to clean and whatever, and you say, okay, I will go out with the naked one. It's easy to clean. It's still usable, still comfortable in your hands. Obviously, it's not fulfilling your hand exactly like the one with the scales, but it's still a very usable knife. And we use the same steel, so M390 also in this case, stone washed version. All the finishing will be stone washed, and we have 5 different versions for each handle material. For each blade shape. So we have naked, green canvas micarta, natural canvas micarta, black G10, and carbon fiber. So probably, and they come also with a sheath, obviously, because you cannot carry them. We kept the same idea of the micro. So leather sheath, magnets. This fits your pocket absolutely perfect. It's ambidextrous, also in this case. You can put on your right or left. You just need to just turn the knife because the sheath is completely symmetrical. So no problem with that. The piece of knife that will stay out of your pocket is not so much. So obviously you cannot go deep carry with these guys because you need to have such a big pocket. But yeah.
Is a small fixed blade like that legal to carry in Italy?
So you made a good question. It's difficult to understand what is legal to carry in Italy. The only thing we know is that we cannot carry automatics or with two cutting edge, two sharpened cutting edge, like dagger with two cutting edge sharpened, that are considered like guns, in Italy. So you have to have at home. You have to have a gun license, the same that you have for a shotgun.
I think daggers are forbidden in Germany as well. Maxi?
They are not legal to carry, but you are both sides.
All right.
2 sides. Sharpening is allowed to have.
Okay. So you can have at home, but you cannot carry.
Yeah, that's
yeah. In Italy, you cannot neither have at home because if they come at home and I don't know, for whatever reason, it happened also. Maybe they were looking for guns or for whatever other things, and they found out inside maybe a stiletto, also maybe a small stiletto, whatever. They don't care. It's illegal and it's a weapon, whatever. So you have to, if you have the gun license, you can keep it, but you have to register it that you have. You have the gun. Also, when we sell, we are not selling any longer in the shop because it was more the problems than the profits. But in that case, you have to register the gun license. You have to all the documents has to stay together, and you have to have the documents, and the customer has to have the documents and to declare that he got the knife. For all the rest, for all the other knives, it's a lot of cloudy thing. So basically, you can carry whatever you want if you have a reason to carry it.
Oh yeah.
Are you going out on a bush, or maybe you have fields here or doing agriculture or whatever? You have to take, or you're going hunting, and you need maybe also a big knife to cut out piece of trees, etc., to pass between trees or whatever. You have a reason to have it. So probably the police officer will say, "Okay, you have a reason, you can go."
All right.
But you have to show a reason, and it depends a lot on the officer that stops you, if he's understanding or not. That, and probably also who you are, because probably if you have some felonies, you did some felonies in the past, and they know that, and you have a knife with you, yeah, probably it would be different. The let's say the response from the officer than if they stop me, for example, that I work with knives, so I have the reason to carry. I'm testing it, and whatever reason I can have, it's reasonable.
Or you just tell the officer that there is a cake waiting for you where you're going.
Exactly.
So you need a knife.
But yeah, exactly. it's the same. But I want to tell you this funny story because it's quite unbelievable. One of my colleagues, was coming in the office by car. He lives 25 kilometers from our office. He was coming in the office in the morning, and he had on the keychain, those little key knives. They have the same identical shape of a key. Okay, but they, the keys. Okay,
yeah.
So it's like a little gadget. It's not even cutting. It's like it's not so sharp. It's not pointy. The blade, the length is like this. So it's something really okay. But that day, probably, or the officer had a bad day, or he found a bad officer, and he was not happy about looking. He said, "You cannot carry that. You cannot have it in your car. You cannot go around with that knife because it's a weapon." A weapon, a key knife like this.
It's as dangerous as a toothpick.
Yeah, exactly. If I would be Chuck Norris, probably I can kill someone with that one. I can maybe also build like an aerospace something if I am Chuck Norris with that knife. But yeah, be serious. Yeah. So basically, these are the rules in Italy, and the thing for us working in this business, in which we have customers from all over the world, it's difficult to stay behind every laws. Every country has different laws. And if you speak about the US, okay, they are a lot more free than we are. But also they have different regulation in each state of the same country. So it's always difficult to stay behind all the things. And in some cases, the rules are completely crazy. One of the last thing that a customer told me is from Luxembourg. They recently changed the laws in Luxembourg, and let me see if I can remember, because it's really tricky. So basically, you have to have a knife that is less than the blade that has to be less than 9 centimeters. Sorry, and in the middle of the blade, so in the point, you have to calculate the middle. The widthness of the blade, so the height of the blade, has to be more than a quarter of the total length. So basically, if you have an 8 centimeter knife, when you have in the position of the in the middle of the blade, you have to have 2 centimeter high blade. If it's less than 2, it's illegal. If it's over, it's legal. When you hear something like that, no, guys, it's crazy. When you hear something like that, you really understand that people that make the laws doesn't know anything about this world, about knives and these kind of things. So, and it's bad that the laws of this kind of, but also for different other things. I'm not speaking also only about knives, but it's bad that laws are made by people that doesn't know anything about what they are judging, So the only reason I understood and I try to put in my mind is that if it's thinner, it's probably easier to that is a stabbing knife. Maybe I don't know. Anyway,
or you create a knife that goes like.
You could do that. Yeah, for instance, you could do the thing. It's unbelievable. Yeah, also because if you make a knife that in the middle is the same, and then you go like a spear point, a really good spear point, it's anyway a stabbing knife, but you are legal. It's legal. Anyway. Going ahead on other things, for the macro, as we did for the micro, we will come out also with another sheath to get another option to carry. It will probably be out a little bit later than the knife, but not so much. Because in this period, I'm sorry for all our customers. It's something that I would like to tell. This period is crazy, as probably you know. It's difficult to get the materials. It's difficult to have everything is in delay. It's difficult to put together all the things. And since the sheath are made by another company that is not related with the knife making companies that we work with, you have to coordinate also their timing, the other timing, and whatever. So it will probably be a little bit different, but not so much. Anyway. Kydex sheath, also in this case, we make two different blade shapes, obviously, because otherwise it would have been moving, and it's not what we want. And different way of carrying. So we left anyway this hole here for neck carry if someone wants. I don't think I will not carry on my neck this knife, but maybe someone would do that. These leather laces here for belt carry, and ulti-clip for pocket carry. So
is that an ulti-clip or?
Ulti-clip, yeah.
I love those.
Ulti-clip is the slim 2.2 slim version.
Oh, yeah.
It's the smallest that they have. I like them a lot. I tried the first time. I contacted, and I don't know if you ever spoke with the guy of ulti-clip.
No.
Ryan is a great guy. He's so funny. He was also at the IWA show, and it was the first time I met him in person. But he's a great guy. And so asked him to get the samples. He sent me some samples. I tested it a little bit for the first time, and I said, yeah, it's working absolutely perfectly. So with this clip here, you will never, let's say, lose the knife. It's basically impossible. And so we decided to use that thing also because we needed to put something of high quality together with a high quality knife in a high quality package. You know, you cannot. I don't think you can do a very good knife with for example, a fixed blade knife with a bad sheath. It makes no sense. The things has to go together. It's a part of the same product. Let's say. So. Yeah, this will be out a little bit later. The macro we are expecting end of May at this point, and I hope the time will be respected because I have a lot of people that is pushing me a lot. I got DMs, emails, whatever, people saying me, when is coming out the macro? I don't want to wait it any longer. I want it. How much I have to wait for it? So I'm sorry for the delay, guys. I would have hoped to let you have this knife sooner, but it is what it is, and we are doing our best to make it possible. Going ahead on our project of new things. Also, in this case, we are speaking about new versions of an existing model, but in this case, we change it a little bit more than usual. Not only the handle material, blade material, we changed the structure. So. This is the Flame Light. It comes from our Flame model that we launched in 2020. It's Michael Ziba design. I don't know if you guys know the guy, but it's a really good guy. It's a really great designer. I like it. It's another good guy. So at that time, I was looking at the MS3. That is, for me, I like it so much. And so we started with the original version. Our first version was similar, so frame lock, titanium, solid clip, etc. It was okay. That worked really well. But in my mind, I thought we need to make something that were more focused on what this knife is good for. One of the things is that you can really carry it like a pen, you know. It's like an executive knife that you can carry in this way. But with the frame lock titanium version, with the solid clip, etc., the weight was a little bit too heavy, and the front pocket would have gone down. No? You cannot, and you don't have let's say a complete deep carry pocket clip. So what we made is we changed the locking system. So we put a liner lock. Yeah, nested liners. Yeah. So you have liners inside on both parts to give anyway stability, anyway structure to the knife. And we chose three materials that are green canvas, natural canvas, and black canvas micarta as a start, let's say, of this new model. Probably we can do other in the future. We changed the clip, so it's a stainless steel band clip, and it's reversible, so left-handed, right-handed.
Okay.
Both.
This is a gentleman's carry knife, I would say. Just for the listeners who don't watch the video, it's a very slim knife, a very decent knife. You can hide it in your pocket, kind of.
Yeah,
it's closed, isn't it? It's very slim one and very.
I know that the ones that are looking at the video will not see that, but
yeah, but it's Igor has it in his pockets nearly
in
his
pocket.
It's.
And for example, so just to give you an idea, this looks really similar, but this is a pen.
Ah, right.
That's
so this is another thing. It's not our products. It's a pen that I'm carrying. But the idea of this knife is that it could be carried like a pen, because you can also, on your front pocket or whatever, and on your jacket. I think it look really cool, and no one who knows that you have a knife, and no one can blame you or be scared about it.
And this is a flipping.
Yeah, this is a flipping knife. And in my opinion, with the liner lock, we hit an even better flipping action than the frame lock. It's also in this case, I think Christian would like this. So would like this a lot because it's really snappy. Also in this case, it's very, very fast. And I think that surely people will be easier for people with this knife than the other also opening, because when you have a frame lock that is so small, here you have a retention bar, So if you put your finger here and you put pressure, let's say, you will never open it because you are closing it. So you need to learn that you have to put your fingers on the clip part and then open it this way. With the liner lock, you don't have this problem. You can open whatever you want. And the same that we did with the flame, the standard flame, we have the dagger version. So I can, and here you can see that one is right-handed and left-handed difference. So one is mounted in one way, one in the other.
That reminds me a lot of a.
Yeah.
That reminds me a lot of a stiletto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a very classical 1930s stiletto.
Yeah. So basically, the original design was, imagine this one. Okay. So the standard, the classic blade. But when we made this design and we tried to make some changes, some difference. When I saw the dagger, I said, "Yeah, we have to make it."
Yeah,
because for me, it's completely symmetrical. Aesthetically speaking, is so cool, and there is another factor that I never forget. That is also in this case fidgety action. So in this case, you have the two horns here. So you can flip it or you can front flip it.
Oh.
So using your thumb, you can front flip it. It's very easy. So it's a fun knife again.
And I think it has a very it has a little bit of historicity to it, because I mean stilettos are a big part of the knife history, and I think it pays great homage to this, maybe a little bit forgotten part of knife history within the 1920s or 1930s.
Yeah. Anyway, so speaking about stilettos, in Maniago we are still producing stilettos. We still have companies that are making them. So it's not something that it was made only in the past. Obviously, is less maybe famous and less let's say
less
used
popular.
In the past. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's for sure. And obviously, this one has a little bit more modern, let's say, look. Also, the blade, and if you can check, there is a groove inside here. So
that's cool.
So obviously, we want to make a dagger. We want to make something like this, but always keeping a little bit modern. this I expect to be ready around end of May, beginning of June. The production, so probably a release date would be around mid of June, something like that. If anything bad will not happen from here to that. Anyway, we always keep you informed if you check our socials, and if you want to send us DMs to know whatever the possible release dates are, how much you have to wait, etc. You can text us. No issues. I will personally reply to you. And as to and then there we will always put our post to announce the release dates, and then etc. So you will find all the information on our Instagram page for sure.
Very cool.
I would say last but not least, so last in terms of timing, is the Hero. So Hero is a Tommaso Rumici design. What we did in this case, So what we did in this case is, we wanted to make a strong, reliable, usable, very usable, completely ambidextrous knife, ergonomical and whatever. And the other thing we put together was I wanted to make something with an Italian designer. I know Tommaso from the beginning when I started working here, from my first shows, and I like the guy. He's a good guy. He lives very close to us. It's something like 60 kilometers from us. So also it's very easy to meet more frequently in person and speak about the thing in person. Let us his feelings on the prototypes, check together with him if we are going ahead in the right line or not or whatever. Those have been the things. And 390 steel blade, also for this case, is a 4mm blade, so a thick blade.
Oh, that's a usable.
Yeah, and that's a backlog. So we wanted to make a strong knife, something that you can really use and rely on. So what is the best lock that you can use is surely the backlog. The most resistant, probably the most resistant lock that is out there. And so we decided to use this. And also for the things of the ambidextrous, okay, this knife has double thumb stud, so on the two sides. The clip is completely reversible, so it's reversible. And you have a backlog. So it's completely ambidextrous. Right hand, left hand, no worries. And Tommaso told me that he thought this because he is also quite expert, I think, about guns, like pistols, guns, and whatever. And so thinking about that thing of having something that you can really use with two hands without thinking on what you're doing, okay?
All right.
So I can, same movements in the two parts are the same thing, so, okay. So also something that probably learned with relationship with law enforcement guys and things like this. One particular thing about this knife is the structure. So as you can see, the liner and the bolster is a unique piece of titanium.
So
okay. No, it's not integral. It's not an integral knife. You have a backspacer, you have spring, you have whatever.
Yeah.
But the single liner is the bolster, and here the liner.
So the line the liner is milled.
Exactly.
So the bolster and the liner is one big piece.
Exactly. You start from this big piece of titanium, you milled it, you make the step, you mill all the other part, etc. You make it flat, and then we put over the scales. Yeah,
that's cool.
Thank you. And so
can you compare it to the Maximo for size comparison?
Yeah, absolutely. This is slightly bigger.
Whoa.
It's a little bit bigger than the Maximo.
Yeah, I mean, the Maximo is already a big blade, but that's a huge blade.
Yeah, that's a huge knife, and but we decided to make it bigger also for the reason of having So the handle, if you check, also the blade is big, but the most is obviously being a folding knife is bigger, you know. But what we decided to do is to have this knife. You have this possibility to bring it, so to work for detail, fine working, to choke up, exactly. Then you have standard, let's say, handling this way or reverse or whatever, and then if you want, you have a back position. If you have to do so, when you need some lever, you know, some more momentum of the blades, like chopping and this kind of activities. You
Zombie
have
apocalypse.
Exactly, maybe, and you have this way of handling that, so you have more momentum, and this is why the knife and the handle has been designed in this way.
I like that.
One of the things that some customer told me when saw the knife, say, yeah, I like it, maybe this part is a little bit too big for what I like, but I said this is made for a reason. So it's not there for aesthetical. It's there because it has to give you a good grip when you're doing this work, because otherwise you are basically leaving the knife working and you have the weight, but you have to control it. Otherwise the knife will go wherever. And so these are the things that we put on this knife. And one thing that we put, and that we probably will use on the next.
That's my favorite part.
This, the part of the clip. So basically in this case, you can see these are the lines of our logo. So over MKM, you can see the 3 mountains line, okay? The 3 mountains line. And this is the first knife when we put it, and it's something that we'll probably add on other knives that we will do. Also because when you're carrying it, obviously a knife person, something that someone that know about knives, will surely recognize what you're carrying. You know? So
I think that's a smart idea.
it's also a little bit outside branding without the branding, you know. So it's not a brand, it's a sign, it's a cool sign, but it gives you also this extra thing.
So,
like Spyderco with a spider, or
Exactly.
So there's if you, just in case you don't see the podcast, there's a clip with a small hole with a line, and the line is also the logo of MKM, and that are the mountains you can see from Maniago, isn't it?
Yeah,
So it's the mountain line.
Yeah, we have 3 mountains on the back of Maniago. Let's say that is around Maniago, and one is called Fara. And in fact, our knife. In fact, one of the first collection of our knives took the names from mountains or famous mountains, but not only from Maniago, but let's say in the region. Anyway, we have the Fara that is here. That is the first of the 3 lines, the 3 mountains. The one in the middle that is the higher is the Yof, and we have a knife also named Yof. And this is the one that is exactly on the back of Maniago. Let's say Fara is more close to Montreal, where I'm living. That is 2 kilometers. Let's say we are all neighbor here, and so it's there. And the third is a smaller mountain. Is more, we can call more like a big hill. It's called San Lorenzo, and this is the third one. So this
can people should listen to the sound of the knife. Can you just open and close it once more? I think the walk and talk is spectacular.
You can hear it.
Yeah.
It sounds super snappy for a backlog, because some, not most, but some backlogs don't have a snappy action. This sounds super snappy.
You know, the action in this case, the snappy action is given by 2 factors basically. One is the bearings that we have in the rotation mechanism. So we have ball bearings, and so the movement is obviously smoother than with washers. And then obviously you have a big blade, so you have weight. So in the moment where you push it, you have a lot of weight that is working for you to open it quicker. You know?
Right.
Usually is more difficult to make a snappier knife with a small blade. because you don't have those momentum that you have to push more the blade, because the blade don't have the weight to do part of the job by itself.
That sounds super good.
Thank you. And also in this case, we did 6 different variations. The one in my hand is the walnut. Then we have green canvas micarta. We have a natural canvas. We have a black G10. We have a 10 G10. And probably my favorite in the look is the carbon fiber one. Carbon fiber. So you can see there is a big piece of marble carbon fiber here that with this surface really let you see all the grains, all the things about it. And yeah, I like it so much. Different blade finishing between the sun, let's say the wooden and the carbon fiber, as satin finish, more classy looking.
Yeah.
And the G10 and the micarta handle ones as stone wash finishing, to give more rough and tough, feeling and look. So from what I have here, it's basically all what we have. It's not all what we will introduce for this year. There will be other things that you will see. We are now working to have at Blade Show one news that for me will be the news of the year for our brand. Not for all the market. Probably something that I don't know if we'll be ready for the people, let's say for all the customers within this year. We are working for that, but we will we want to introduce it at Blade Show because we think that will be a piece that will be very important for us, and it's something that will be quite, I think, almost unique for this for the market. I never saw something same like that. I know that you are hating me a lot because you're now thinking, what is that? And I know, I'm sorry about it. I'm sorry, but I'm sure, that you will be very happy when you will saw that. I'm very excited about it. I can tell you, it's an Italian designer and something that will be really new for us, and I guess also for the market.
An Italian designer.
Yeah, Italian young designer. I won't tell anything more.
Yeah.
No, I will leave you the secret, and I will leave you in thinking about it. Probably, I don't know if Maxi know that. Maybe I told them during the IWA show meeting. I don't remember. In private, I don't know. But yeah, it's something that we are really excited about, and we hope will be well received. But I'm quite sure about it.
Not that I remember, but I will be on Blade, and I will.
You will come a Blade show?
My story.
I will come a Blade show. Great.
Yeah.
Nice to know.
Yeah, I will be on your booth too. You have a booth, right?
Yeah.
So I will be on your booth, and then have a look and post it in our Instagram story.
Sure.
And I will text you. Yeah, I will call you, even it's 4 a.m. in Germany.
No, sure.
So, yeah. It was great. I have 3 last questions for you.
That's the most fun part in every podcast.
And before I start with my 3 questions, I would love to know if you could do that again, maybe next year with your new products. It's always exciting to see what's coming up and which new designers you are having in your program, and also maybe there are another fun stories.
No, for sure. I like to do these things. I like to speak with you guys. Maxi, I met you at the IWA. It's been great. I immediately felt there is something in this business that I understood. Or at least I don't know if it's visible for everyone, but when you speak with a knife person, you can feel you're speaking with a knife person, and everything becomes easier and smoother for everything. In other markets, is more difficult to find enthusiasts that are your customers, you know. So in this case, it's easier to find. It's not everyone that I speak with and that are related with our companies, that our customers are really knife guys. But when you find one, you can really recognize one. And when I spoke with Maxi, I can immediately found out that she's a knife guy, a knife lady in this case. And Christian, I don't know, but from here you look like that. You look in the same way, and yeah. So it's very good for me. It's been great for me to do that. I will be open as whenever you want. And maybe next time I will have a little bit more better camera, you know, for showing some close up for the knife.
Yeah, it was exactly my experience meeting you in Nuremberg on the Igor. We have talked about some knives, and you had that sparkle in your eyes, you know, that you only recognize with knife guys. You see, oh yes, you have that knife, I love that, and you know, you are the. It was fantastic to see that, and that was the very moment I thought about to doing that podcast. I need to talk to you. It was like, it's great. And the other thing I have noticed was you started in 2018. What was your first knife? Yeah, now you have a collection with more than 50 knives, right?
Yeah, now I have a collection of more than 50 knives, which has been my first knife out of MKM.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to remember which has been my first knife out of MKM, because the first time I probably got. No, I got it. Is now I remember. It's difficult sometimes. So yeah, I have it. Yeah, yeah. This is my first knife that I bought out of MKM. I bought from our shop, but yeah, I still bought it, and it's a Viper knife, and it's the Katla. Viper.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Katla from Viper. I love this knife.
Very popular.
I love it. Yeah. As soon as I grab it in my hand, as soon as I tried it, as soon as I started playing with it,
yes,
I said, yeah, I need to have it. And then the problem for me is that if I go to our shop we have a shop in the main square of Maniago, you know, we carry only Maniago knives, so we don't have a lot of things to check, but we still have a lot of models. And what we did is, what I do is I go there, I look at the showcases and I browse the showcases. So the first times it was difficult for me. It was, I don't know what I would like, I don't know, etc. Try one, try the other. Maybe next time. I say, okay, maybe next time. So at a certain point I say, Igor, you have to try to get one. You go there with one idea in your mind. You take the knife, you open the knife, you play it. If you like it, you take it. Stop browsing too much. And that's what I did with this one. But probably the knife that I was waiting for, and that is a grail that I got really recently. After meeting a great guy in the SHOT Show, I got the chance to have my first, and you know, it's a big moment when you have your first crease rib knife. And I got mine this year, and I really like it. It's a Small Sebenza 21 with graphics. Yeah. You know that thing. I don't know why, but so I know why. I know why crease rib is so important, etc. But really, when I got this, I was a different feeling. You know, I have a piece of the knife history in my hand. Yeah. That's what I think. And by the way, it's a great knife. So by the way, see, it's all together. And now, you know, my collection is now, let's say, in the quite low level of pricing. Let's say I'm not getting to into custom knives yet. I will probably look at something at a Blade Show if I will be able to get one. But I'm trying to do it step by step as we grow up as a brand, and we have tried to grow up step by step, not so fast. Also, I'm trying to grow up my collection in the same way. Also, because otherwise, my wife could be a little bit angry. But the thing is that it's not. I don't know if it's for me or if it's my wife is like what I do or whatever. My wife knows things about knives that some people in the customers in the knife industry doesn't know. I probably am a little bit annoying. Also, sometimes maybe she's listening to me and say, again, he's speaking again about knives. And but she is learning a lot, and she likes she feels my passion, and probably she is following that too. And sorry, one of probably the most important knife that I have, but that is not exactly a knife because it's not cutting, but is this.
This is a key. Is this
a necklet?
A necklace.
It's a necklet.
A necklet.
It's a necklet of a fixed blade knife, and this here has been made by Gino Paoletta. Is father of Gianni Paoletta, the owner of Lion Steel. And this has been a special moment in my life. Basically, he did one for my daughter one day. So yeah, I went visiting Lion Steel with my daughter because she wanted to go there. My daughter is 5 years old. Just to let you know.
Same as mine.
Also, yeah. And at 4 years old, her fourth birthday, she got her first knife. That is old bear young knife. Is no pointing, right. no cutting edge, etc. With an engraving on it. And also another funny story that I can tell you is that when I brought home the knife, so I gave it to her. This is my gift for your birthday. So she opened up the boxes. She saw the knife. She was very happy because she was purple. So it was purple. So obviously it was like that. And but the thing is, okay, obviously you know how the old bear worked. You know, with the lock. It was locked, and so she had it in her hands and tried to open it. Okay, I never spoke to her about that knife. She tried to open it. She was not able to open it. So immediately she. The thumb, slide the lock, open the knife, and lock it again when it was open. I said, "You are my daughter." Now I'm sure that you are my daughter. Finally,
final proof.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he did. Gianni's father, Gino, did a small version of the micro, like this. This is made by titanium, and then is flamed and with the different colors and anodized. And so yeah, we were visiting the factory, the Lion Steel factory, with my daughter, and Gino gave this great gift. So we were at the Knife Fest. I don't know if I told you, I think I told you, Maxi, that we have a Knife Fest every year. In Maniago, we do this Knife Fest. This year, we are in the middle between the last weekend of August and the first weekend of September. And for the ones that are listening to this podcast and not know this, Knife Fest is basically a moment. It's a weekend in which most of the manufacturer of knives in Maniago goes into the main square with a booth showing their products. It's not like a trade show. You don't have all those qualified persons coming there. You know, you have random people coming there. It's like fast, you know. But it's one time in which you can show to people. And I got enthusiasts too, because I remember last year I got a lot of guys coming there and say, "Yo, Igor, I saw you on the videos on YouTube, etc. Can we take a picture?" I said, "Yeah." It was cool because my first time, and someone asked me, "Can we take a selfie?" Yeah, but I'm not a superstar. Anyway, this is basically the Knife Fest. So 2 days of fun, knives, and things like place. Anyway, I saw Gino during the show one day. He came there, and he asked me, "Is your daughter liking and wearing the necklace that I made?" Yes, absolutely. I said, not always, because I cannot send her to the kindergarten like that. Also because maybe he can not because it's a knife. That's not the biggest problem. It's not cutting. That's not the biggest problem. But he can damage it, lost it, and whatever. And it's a jewel. I don't want to lose it. So in the special moments, she wear it. I wear it all the day, every day, whenever. And so I told her, yeah, it's very cool. But the thing is that I don't have one. And the only sad thing is that I don't have one. And I make the eyes like a dog, you know, like when you say, I don't have one. But maybe, yeah, exactly, like you used to say. And you know what? It was Saturday of the Knife Fest. Sunday morning, 8:30 in the morning, we were opening the booth, and Gino came to my booth and said, Igor, this is for you. And he brought me this one. So I said to him, okay, thank you so much. I was crying, really, literally. I was really emotional. It's one of the steps in this world that's for me is important. I don't know, maybe it's something that for other person doesn't have a lot of meanings, but for me it's a lot. And from that time, I never removed it, unless if I was forced to remove it because I cannot wear it in some other places. So yeah, this is the final part of the story. I told a lot of stories today.
Oh, that's good.
This will be a very long podcast. It's 2 hours that we're speaking, yes. Really?
Yeah. Really, it's true.
I'm sorry for all the guys that will listen to us.
Oh, no. I think podcasts are meant to be long. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I hate short podcasts. I love. So when I'm scrolling through my podcast app, I always look how long the episodes are. I always go for the longest. I think podcasts are meant to talk.
So if everyone will think like you, this will be a very popular podcast.
Yeah, I don't like short episodes.
No, I can understand podcasts. It's a different format than videos, interviews, etc. Yeah, it's sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Igor.
Yeah.
Are you getting up late, or are you more an early bird person?
I'm getting up late. I've never been an early bird. I always worked a lot in my life. From when I started. I started working 11, 12 years ago. I always made a lot of hours working, but I never liked to wake up early. I prefer to stay up till 2 in the morning and working by night, because and it was like this also when I was studying, because it's everything more relaxed. No one can call you. You don't have any distraction. You have all your time. It's quiet, etc. You don't have any distraction also because if you are working during the day or in the morning, you look outside. Maybe it's a good day. It's a sunny day. It makes you want to go out and not to stay working. So during the night is easier. So we used. In fact, I don't know if I already did, but Maxi, it's possible that sometimes you will get emails from me at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever.
And don't probably worry. She will answer that because she's already up.
Oh, really?
Not at 2 a.m., but
sometimes
maybe
at 4 a.m.
4:35 a.m.
So you are the opposite. So you are an early bird?
Yeah.
You're an early bird.
Sometimes I get messages from Maxi at 4:30.
Wow. But for the same reasons, the quiet mornings, and you love the quiet nights. So it's just
the thing is that when I wake up in the morning, my brain needs a little bit of, I need
caffeine.
I need coffee. I need a cup of meat. I need maybe shower. I need something to wake up, and to be exactly ready. And then it depends also what kind of work I'm doing, because if I'm thinking about, for example, I'm there and thinking about new knives. I'm thinking about strategies, whatever. I like the night. But maybe some other things I did in the morning, not so early, like 4:30, but maybe 6 in the morning. If I have to work physical work, maybe in the warehouse or whatever, preparing shipments, helping the guys at the warehouse to prepare shipments and whatever, because we are a small company, so we need to make different things, in that case, I can do it in the morning. I like it because it wakes me up. It's something that you don't need. I don't need to use so much my brain in the early morning. That's the important thing.
So, what is your most used app on your phone?
Luckily or unfortunately,
I probably would guess Instagram.
It's
because you are running your Instagram account too.
Yeah, let's say that until 1 year ago, I would probably have said Instagram. But from 1 year to now, we have a little agency that is helping us. So we are programming the post. So I go on Instagram to check DMs, to reply to comments. That's something sure. But for example, the post, etc., is something that we program and we book and we schedule. And we have this little agency, local agency, that help us to program and to put the post online. And so nowadays, probably the most used app is Outlook, is the email app. I reply to, as I told you, I reply to emails when I'm in office or not in office or whatever. So it's probably the one I'm using more. But one of the most useful apps, that not maybe the most used for the time that is, but one of the most useful is knife steel composition for sure. It's something that I check a lot to when we are thinking about possibility of having new steels and research and think about that. It's an app that I really recommend. It's a great app. You can find a lot of information there, and it's been very useful.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, and my very last question is, which book would you recommend to a friend?
So on this question, I want to start saying that I'm not a very big book reader, okay? Most of all, I'm not a very book reader for speaking about romances, thriller, whatever kind of. I read more books that needs me for a specific reason, for studying or for that has a specific, let's say, thing to learn on it, for example. And so I don't know what I can suggest really on the ones that I read, but I can tell you what I'm reading now, and it's fun because it's a part of my new hobby that I just recently got. And so then the book is called The Big Fish of Darts. The Big Fish of Darts is written by an Italian guy and is a darts player. You know darts?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know darts? Yeah. Okay. So I recently get into this new hobby, and it's very cheap hobby, another very cheap hobby to put together with the knife collection, because I don't know if you ever tried or if you ever checked, but darts are not really cheap, and it's a book in which you have different exercises. It's written in Italian, and it's different exercises to train you, basically. So I'm following this. It brings you to a 2 weeks program, and then gives you all other exercises to train yourself. And now I have a guy here on the boat that would like to come on the podcast. I have my dog here that is calling me. Probably he wants to go out because my wife is not home, and he's calling me. So he's pushing me and say, "Hey, I need you."
Okay. Yeah, this is. I think we are over.
So we can.
Don't worry.
Okay.
We can wait for darts made by MKM M390, probably designed by Tommaso Rumici. Yeah, cool.
You know what? You know what? I'm probably crazy, and so when I came home with my first darts kit, so I got my board, I got my surround, I got my darts. Okay, so I picked up, I bought a couple of different sets just to try differences. And when I was home, I put everything, started playing, and then I was having a dinner with my wife and speaking about the darts, etc. And I said, now I want to make them because it's something. Don't take me wrong. It's something possible. It's something really possible, and something that in my mind is already born something. Okay, the project is there. The idea to make them is there. We don't know whenever we will be able, or if we will be able to make it, considering all the other things we have to do. But surely is something that I would love to do.
But M390 is a must. Don't make them of D2 or 690. That won't work. It must be.
You know what?
M390.
You know what? We have to go a little bit further than this in material on the darts. You know why? I discovered then later. Obviously, now I'm checking all the specs of the different darts, etc., to understand the materials. So I'm playing steel darts, with steel tip.
All right.
But the point is still, and usually from what I get, no one write exactly what is the name of the steel, but from what I get is like 420 or something. So it's like a cheap one. But the body is tungsten.
Tungsten, right?
Tungsten is alloy between tungsten and nickel.
Yeah.
And the more percentage of tungsten you have, the more quality the darts is.
Super expensive material, right?
Exactly, and super difficult to work on.
Yeah.
Because it's super tough, super hard material. Yeah, exactly. So not really easy to work on it. But surely we have technologies, we have things. So I'm sure we could have been able to do that. The thing in that case is that, the only thing in that case is that I guess if you're not working together with a professional darts player, it's possible that you make something that is not working. So you need a professional. In that case, it's a toy to play. But if you want to make something in the high level, that is what we are usually able to do in the knife business. You need to have someone really skilled and really experienced to tell you the balancing, the length, the different measurement. I'm learning a lot. If you go, and the first thing that told me to do to try to make the darts, if you go on a shop, an online shop of darts, it's the range of darts that you can find is really similar of the number of knives that you can find. You have a variety that is unbelievable. It can change for, one dart, you can have I think up to 10 different weights. 18 grams, 19 grams, 20 grams, 21 grams, 23, 24, 28, 30. You have a lot of different ones. They can change for slightly groove on the handle, one to the other. So that's the range that you have. So
now
you can really free up. Sorry?
Now I want to start playing darts.
Yeah, really. I transmit also the passion for darts, also for the no, it's a really relaxing hobby. I like it so much. I stay there and like throwing darts. You just free up a little bit your mind. You are focused. You have to be very focused if you want to play well. So you have to stay focused there, and so you can free up your mind for all the other things. And it's releasing, And also in that case, my wife is now playing with me. She was not interested in darts, but whenever I came home and started playing and show her what to do, etc., what it was, and she likes it. And the only problem is that she was starting from zero. I already played a couple of times. She was starting from zero, and my wall knows that. My wall knows that she started working at. We have like like if you take an AK-47 and start to shoot in the wall, exactly the same. if my wife will ever listen to this podcast or look at it, I will try to avoid these last minutes. Otherwise, she will probably.
We are sorry.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
No, thank you guys.
And from all what I have heard today is you are lost. So I'm so sorry to say it, but you are totally lost in the knife world. You got gray knives. You got for your kids the first knife. You got an emotional knife on your necklace. So you are totally lost in that rabbit hole.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that. Yeah.
Thank you. No, and I love. In this case, it's one of the moments in which you like to be lost. Let's say, I like where I'm lost. You know, I'm lost in a beautiful place. Let's say it's like Alice in Wonderland. You know, it's like so when I go to Blade, it's 3 years that I'm waiting to get to Blade show, to get back to the Wonderlands. You know, to stay there and say, this is my place. You know, it's where I want to stay.
And the thing is, you are lost because of knives, but you are, and I think more in a way you are lost because of the people who are in that world. Because it's not always about knives, but it's
people.
Always about people.
I like knife people. I like I cannot find really. It's something that in my former job it was really difficult to say, and. Difficult to find a customer that I don't like, that I'm not happy to speak about, at least for the major customers, the one which I have more relationship, etc. And then there are some special ones, like for example, you Maxi or other that I found around that in which you have the same feeling and you can see you're speaking the same language, and that has no price. You know, it's. If you do the job when you're going away and you're speaking with friends, when you're going to trade shows, it's what you want to have best than that. It's impossible. So it's more getting new friends than getting customers. For me, it's that the thing. Or other people that are lost in the same place where I am. So so maybe we can find the directions together. You know?
All right.
Okay.
Great last words. Thank you so much.
No, thank you guys. It's been good, great, and I hope to see you. Surely we will see you at Blade Show. Max, remember to me. I'm lost. When was the show? The knife show in
Solingen.
Yeah.
It is 14th and 15th of May.
14th,
so
15th.
if you can make it,
I will see. I will see. Let's say Solingen is quite far if I have to travel by car, so I had to fly. But remember me how far Hamburg is from Solingen?
It's 380 kilometers.
No more.
No, it's just 380.
Really?
If I remember correctly, I would. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So not very close,
Okay.
but because maybe I would have put together. A visit to your shop and to your place, etc. It would have been very cool. I saw some pictures, etc. I saw also some videos you guys made. The one with the creaser knife. I loathed something like that. I had it in the loop. It was so cool. It was so cool, really. And I can understand your feeling that you had when you sold that knife.
It's always every time. I can assure you.
Yeah. Anyway, if it will be possible, I will check. If possible, I will come. I cannot promise, but if possible, I would definitely be happy to come there. And if not, we will see at Blade Show in Atlanta.
Yes.
Yeah, that will be fun. That will be really fun.
It will be fun. Yeah.
I can't wait to get down to the after the show, get down to the pit, having a couple of beers at the pit. I'm missing the pit also. I'm missing all the person that you meet there. Yeah. I'm ready.
You're meeting the people. Yeah.
Beautiful people, and you're there. You're drinking a beer. You're beside of another guy, and the first thing is not how you doing, and the second is what you got in your pocket. So that's super funny. Super.
Exactly.
Funny.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, guys.
So Thank you so much again.
Thank you, guys.
And have a great day.
You too, guys, and have a great weekend too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you.